Mira Chen was 12 years old when she became the first human student at the Celestial Accord Academy. The prestigious institution had educated the galaxy's elite for 3 centuries, producing diplomats, scientists, and leaders from over 40 species. Her acceptance was meant to be a symbol of Earth's integration into galactic society, a feel-good story about unity and cooperation. Nobody expected her to become a research subject. It started innocuously enough. Myra's homeroom teacher, Professor Kilvan, a mantis-like threen with compound eyes, kept detailed notes on her behavior. At first, Mira thought it was normal. New student, new species, extra attention made sense. But then she noticed the cameras. "Why are there 17 observation drones following me?" Mira asked her assigned mentor, a friendly Volusian named HFY Stories, during lunch period. Chime's bioluminescent patterns flickered nervously. "Ah, you noticed?" "Mira, please don't be offended, but you're from a Class 13 Death World. The Academy Board requires monitoring for everyone's safety." "Safety? I'm 12. What am I going to do, homework someone to death?" But Chime wasn't joking. Over the next weeks, Mira discovered that her daily activities had become mandatory viewing for the Xenobiology department. Students from advanced courses attended lectures specifically about her. She found research papers being written with titles like "Observed Threat Responses in Juvenile Homo Sapiens" and "The Paradox of Death Worlder Social Behavior." The breaking point came during basic chemistry class. Professor Zex Tyler was demonstrating simple molecular bonds when Mira raised her hand. "Professor, isn't that compound unstable at room temperature?" The professor's eye stalk swiveled toward her. "Room temperature? What temperature do you mean?" "You know, normal temperature. About 20 to 22 degrees Celsius." The classroom fell silent. Professor Zex Tyler's chromatic skin turned pale gray, fear coloring. "You consider 293 Kelvin to be comfortable?" "Yeah. That's normal for humans." The professor's assistant immediately began taking notes. By the end of the day, 3 new research teams had requested permission to study Mira's extreme thermal tolerance. She just described room temperature, and they treated it like she'd claimed to live in a furnace. It got worse. During physical education, Mira jogged a single lap around the track, maybe 400 meters at an easy pace, and had to be pulled aside by medical staff who thought she was experiencing a medical emergency. "Your cardiac rate is extremely elevated." The nurse, a gelatinous Quarian, pulsed anxiously. "You must rest immediately." "I'm fine, really. I'm not even breathing hard." "Not breathing." The nurse's translation matrix sparked. "You sustain cardiovascular strain for over 90 seconds and claim no respiratory distress? Impossible." By week 3, Mira had her own research wing. Scientists observed her eating lunch. She could consume and digest dozens of different chemical compounds that were toxic to most species. They studied her sleep cycle, only 8 hours, compared to the galactic average of 14. They documented her reading speed. Her pattern recognition abilities were classified as predatory level threat assessment. The final straw came when she smiled at a classmate and caused a campus-wide lockdown. "You showed your teeth." Chime of Stars trembled, speaking through the safety of a communication screen. "Mira, baring teeth is a threat display for 90% of intelligent species." "I was being friendly." "You have 28 visible bone protrusions designed for ripping and tearing." "How is that friendly?" Mira sat in the dean's office later that day, feeling more like a specimen than a student. Dean Vox Far, a dignified Quarian, reviewed the incident reports with what Mira had learned to recognize as concern orange scale coloring. "Miss Chen, you understand our position is difficult. In 3 weeks, you've demonstrated abilities that our experts considered impossible. You operate comfortably in conditions that would hospitalize most of our students. You display threat indicators unknowingly. You consume toxins for pleasure. He glanced at her confiscated chocolate bar. And your very biology contradicts several established scientific principles. So what happens now? Do I get expelled? Expelled? Voxfar's scale shifted to surprise blue. Miss Chen, you're the most significant educational opportunity this institution has encountered in a century. No, you're not being expelled. You're being reclassified. He pulled up a holographic document. We're creating a new program, the Deathworlder Integration Initiative. You'll still attend regular classes, but you'll also work with our research departments. Help us understand your species. In exchange, we'll help you navigate galactic society without accidentally terrifying everyone. Mira considered this. So I'm basically a teaching assistant for Humans 101? More like the entire curriculum. Voxfar's scales warmed to approval green. Miss Chun, your people are new to the galactic stage. Most species fear what they don't understand. Right now, humanity is a mystery wrapped in a death world enigma. You have an opportunity to change that narrative. By letting everyone study me like I'm in a zoo. By showing them that humans are more than their frightening capabilities. Yes, you can survive in conditions that would kill most of us. Yes, your physical abilities are alarming. But you're also a 12-year-old who does homework, worries about making friends, and, according to Professor Kilvan's notes, doodles space cats in the margins of your notebooks. Mira blushed. You read my notebooks? Everything is monitored, Miss Chen. But here's what's important. Those observations show that humans, despite coming from a world of nightmares, are fundamentally kind, curious, social. You could have responded to our fear with anger. Instead, you tried to understand it. He leaned forward. That's what we need to learn about humanity. Not just what makes you dangerous, but what makes you human. Mira thought about her classmates, who flinched when she moved too quickly, about teachers who treated her like a fascinating catastrophe waiting to happen. Then she thought about Chima Stars, who, despite being terrified, still sat with her at lunch every day. Okay, she said finally. I'll do it. But on one condition. Name it. You have to stop calling it monitoring and start calling it friendship. Because that's what I'm trying to build here, not a research paper. Dean Voxfar's scale shifted to a color Mira had never seen before, a warm golden hue. Hope, she realized. Agreed, Miss Chen. Let's teach the galaxy what humanity really means. And so Mira Chen became both student and teacher, subject and friend, the bridge between a death world species and a galaxy that feared them. It wasn't the school experience she'd imagined. It was better.